Download the BCSN Plus app today.
On Her Game, Caitlin Clark and the Revolution in Women's Sports is out now wherever you get your books. The author is Toledo native and Ottawa Hills alum Christine Brennan. Her latest endeavor details the rise of WNBA superstar Caitlin Clark and how she is changing the landscape of women's sports. Her book tour began just a few minutes away at Ottawa Hills High School. I sat down with her to talk about the new book. When you think about the type of book that you're writing, usually you wait until somebody has a few championships, a few all-stars under their belt, but Caitlin Clark, you're writing this story about her in just her second year in the WNBA. Why did it matter to tell the story now?
You know, because of the crowds, the TV ratings, records in terms of women's sports that I never thought I would see in my lifetime. People lined up in January to get into huge arenas in Columbus, at Ohio State, at University of Maryland, Indiana University, all to watch a women's basketball player. We've never seen that before, ever. It was almost like a Springsteen concert or Taylor Swift concert. I mean, it's that significant. And so that's why the book is called On Her Game, Caitlin Clark and the Revolution in Women's Sports, because what we're seeing is something we have never seen before. And that's Title IX, 53 years old, the girl next door, all grown up, the nation falling in love with what we've created with Title IX and allowing our daughters and our nieces, granddaughters to play sports just like young boys and men have for generations.
You talked about us never seeing anything like Caitlin Clark before, but in your book you compare her to the 1999 U.S. women's soccer team. I wasn't old enough to watch them, but everybody who's a soccer fan remembers Michelle Akers, Brandi Chastain. Why was that the parallel to make to Caitlin Clark?
In terms of the nation, surprisingly, organically starting to follow something and fill arenas and stadiums for that. We had never seen the country care that much about women's sports or women's soccer until 1999. Now the difference, there's the comparisons I make, but the difference is, of course, that was an international competition. Yeah. So you're cheering for the red, white, and blue. I think it makes it a lot easier for people to cheer for a team if it is the national team. Caitlin Clark, even more remarkable, the interest and the popularity and their TV viewership records and the record attendance, because she was wearing the black and gold of Iowa. It wasn't red, white, and blue. Should have been at the Olympics, but wasn't. And then also now the Indiana Fever. So to come out of the Midwest, again, organically, this isn't a top-down story. This isn't a story where the news told you what to care about. This is America starting to care about this one singular athlete, an entertainer, even more than a basketball player. The high wire act at the circus, the logo threes, chucking it from the parking lot, it goes in. And that, again, that is like the '99 Women's World Cup, but also not, because of course they went away for 14 months before they played at the Olympics in 2000. Caitlin Clark went away for 8 days from the record TV ratings in the NCAA final till she was drafted in the WNBA draft.
The way you're describing her, it sounds like somebody who would be on an Olympic team. You broke the news last year that Caitlin Clark was not selected for the U.S. women's basketball team, but your further reporting showed that it really had nothing to do with Clark's ability to play the game of basketball, and more so everything that came with having her on your team off the court. What did that decision show about U.S. women's basketball in your reporting?
Well, that they made a big mistake, and the mistake looks bigger every day. You know, part of the mission of USA Basketball is to grow the game, and there's no one that would grow the game better than Caitlin Clark. And when I say that, I mean that the spotlight shines on her, but then of course it's shining on all the great players, most of them black players, who never got the attention they deserve from the male-dominated mainstream sports media. And with Caitlin Clark, the old line, the rising tide lifts all boats, now they're getting the attention. So they would have gotten more attention at the Olympic Games, for sure. And also you would have had coverage from around the world. I had reporters at the Olympics in Paris telling me, a Brazilian journalist came up, "Where's Caitlin Clark?" And she's not here. And then, you know, a British journalist, like, I was gonna cover this, and now she's not here. And you might say, and other viewers might say, well, why wouldn't they still cover it? Because it is such a crowded schedule. And the women's basketball team for the US hasn't lost since 1992. So there's a big feeling there that people are like, well, hey, they're gonna win. A sports editor has one person, they're gonna send them to something else that might be more dramatic. It's a shame, it shouldn't happen, but I've covered so many Olympic gold medal matches and games where it's tumbleweeds in the press section. And I've covered it, but very few other journalists have. You bring Caitlin Clark, even if she's only playing 5 minutes, and then everyone would get that attention, and girls around the world would be watching in awe and loving it. And that is the huge mistake. Plus, her statistics were better than Diana Taurasi's, who they gave the going away present, to the 42-year-old off-injured, Taurasi. So the mistakes were terrible, the pettiness, the concern about her fans being upset, that was real. It's stuff that you almost can't believe, but I wrote it, I broke it, and I even have more news in the book on it.
The number 27 is very significant in your book. That is the number of minutes that WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelberg spoke before Game 1 of the WNBA Finals last year. She hyped up the league, everything going on, that's great. She even name-dropped a few All-Stars. She did not name-drop Caitlin Clark. Yeah. If Clark is everything we know her to be, everything that you display her to be in the book, why would Kathy Engelberg take that route?
I asked, and finally she got back to me and she said, why didn't I say Caitlin Clark? She said, because I didn't name anyone else that wasn't in the game, which of course was Game 1 of the finals, and that was New York and Minnesota. The only problem with that answer is that she did name 2 people, Leah Boston and Asia Wilson. I mean, it makes me almost sad as I was reporting some of this. Of course I report it. I mean, emotion goes out of it. I'm a journalist covering these stories and put them all in the book. But as someone who cares, has played sports myself and you want to see the success, that Kathy Engelberg would give me that answer that was wrong. Everything she was talking about, moving to the bigger arenas, filling them up, record-breaking attendance. She literally said we had record-breaking attendance. Well, there's only one reason that happened, Caitlin Clark. They wouldn't have moved the games if Caitlin Clark had not been on the Indiana Fever, and that they'd been on the road to, in this case, Washington. Again, the TV numbers, the home attendance, everything. Why couldn't she do that? Why? And I wanted to get that answer. She really did not want to answer that question, but she does it a lot. And like, for example, on 60 Minutes, she was asked about Caitlin Clark, and she mentioned Caitlin Clark and then Angel Reese. Angel Reese is an amazing rebounder. As Caitlin said, she's got a great motor. Caitlin's quoted throughout the book, of course. Lots of questions I asked her. She answered every single one, looking me in the eye, going on and on in press little availabilities, or we had a chance to meet each other one-on-one earlier. And she's great, but and Angel is a force under the rim, but and clearly a very popular player. But Angel Reese can't sell out her 11,000 seat arena in Chicago, and that's nothing against Angel Reese. That's facts are facts. And yet, I think they just are, well, I think the WNBA is concerned because it is a 74% black league and you've got a white superstar. But if you prepare ahead of time, Dr. Harry Edwards, the great civil rights leader, I talked to him in the book, Brianna Scurry, the goalkeeper on the 99 women's soccer team, I have their voices. Tamika Catchings, the great Indiana Fever player, voices black and white, talking about the mistakes of the WNBA and what could have been done to have the players understand, not because they're damsels in distress, they're not. They're great, strong, college-educated women. But this was a unique moment, and the WNBA did not meet that moment and did not start to deal with the issues that anyone could have said, this might be coming up. And yet they didn't do it, hence we saw some of the discord and the concern moving forward, and hopefully that will end soon. Because, again, the rising tide lifts all boats. Caitlin Clark is great for the players. She's great for the game. She's going to make everyone more money. That should be a positive development, and I think eventually the WNBA will get there.
Through all the reporting you've done in this book, in your opinion, where is women's sports without Caitlin Clark?
It's too bad to say, but journalistically, again, the truth is the truth. It's just would be business as usual. And when you consider someone like Maya Moore, one of the greats of all time, and one of the great people of all time, I mean, just social justice, incredible. And Caitlin Clark's favorite player. And they would go up there the 4-hour drive, 3.5-4-hour drive from Des Moines up to Minnesota and watch her play in Minneapolis. And she should have gotten all that attention. She should have, but she didn't. The mainstream sports media didn't want that, whatever the reason. It could be race, of course. I'm not going to ever discount that as a part of the conversation. Whatever it was, that Maya Moore, and she was a different kind of player. Again, I do think it's Caitlin Clark, the logo threes, and those incredible passes. That high wire act that is different from anyone else. So it's a different kind of entertainment value. It's a different kind of excitement with Caitlin Clark. But Maya Moore, you go back, Diana Taurasi is not, I mean, she's well known in basketball, but she's not a household name. You know, and all those players that didn't get that, it's a shame they didn't get it, but that's the reality. And I think it would look more like just the old days, the good old days. They don't want those days anymore. They want this. And that's why Caitlin Clark is so important to the league.